Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 339. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? Salutations.
Salutations, right? If anyone listened to the last episode, they know what that's about. It's a beautiful callback. I have some news that you will be very happy about, Dan. And I know we got a lot to get into today, but I just want to say I beat the frickin' bear.
Oh, get out of here! It's about time you did that.
I beat the bear, and I also beat Thor, and that was that was a battle.
All right, so for context, Dave, okay, God of War Ragnarok came out like 11/11, right?
Yeah.
Now to begin
almost a month.
December.
Almost a month. It'll be a month tomorrow. For 3-4 episodes, I said you should be arrested because you've been playing Halo. I know.
And not God of War.
I know. Well, Halo's great. It's got the Forge mode. Yeah. But I went back to it today. I felt compelled, and I beat the bear, and then I beat Thor. And that Thor battle, the bear battle, it took me. I mean, I was right at it, right? Because they have really good autosave. So it picked me up right in front of the bear. I die immediately because I forget what the controls are. And then, like, the next 10 times, it's just me trying to figure out the controls again. I'm like, okay, then I get it.
I told you should restart. I told you it's not that far.
No, I got it. I got it. I mean, I was having fun. So I ended up beating the bear. And it's also nice, too, in God of War because they have checkpoints in the boss battle. So, like, when you get to the boss down to a certain level of health, it's like, oh, and then, like, a thing happens, right? This massive cutscene, and they're like, now you start from here. So you don't have to do the whole thing over again. So it's that I actually really like. So, and I think that carries through on any difficulty. I mean, I'm playing on hard mode, so, yeah. And I got a little further into it. You know, I saw the twins again, and, I got back home, and I'm just making my way through it.
I was just going to say, the ending is very emotional.
I'm sure.
Like, there's an emotional part right before the end. Like,
I'm sure. I'm
right?
sure.
And after you beat the game, there's something that you have to do. Like, you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a place you have to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say anything without spoiling it, so I'm just going to tell you, after you beat the game, and after you beat the game and you get credits and you're back into the world, there's a place you got to go. Okay.
All right.
And
I mean, I had that in the first one, but it was optional. You didn't have to go back home, but it was good to go back home.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You don't have to go here, but this sort of, like, gives you, like, an extended ending. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't done it, but I've seen it.
So, why you do it? Why did you not do it?
Well, I didn't know it existed. I beat it fairly quickly.
Oh,
beat it fairly quickly.
Okay.
And then I was just looking, like I was staying away from people talking about God of War.
Yeah.
And then when I finally beat it, I was like, okay, now I can open myself up to spoiler cast. And then people were talking about it, and they showed the video, and I was like, oh. Ah, damn it! I wish I would have listened to the.
Oh, so you didn't want it spoiled for you? You just had to. You had it spoiled for you. I guess.
Yeah. What's the guy? What's the head that's on your waist?
Mimir. Mimir.
Yeah, Mimir. He kept telling me to go, and I was just like, because I did play a little bit after I beat the story, right? I played maybe like another 30, 45 minutes, and he kept telling me, brother, we should go here, and I was just like, no, I want to go over here and fight these random, bad guys for no reason, and I should have just listened to him. Just listened to him.
Yep.
So, all right, so this is the Game Awards episode. Right? We're gonna talk all about the Game Awards. We're gonna treat it just like E3, so this is not a normal show.
And there's a lot. There's a lot to go over. It happened last Thursday, right?
Yes, it happened last Thursday. We're gonna break this up to be easy, to make it a little bit easier. We're gonna break this up into two different parts. It's gonna be the Game Awards, the winners, right? We're gonna discuss the actual, awards being given out, and then we're gonna talk about the Game Award announcements, sort of like the E3 style trailers and release dates and stuff like that. All the stuff that gets people hype. I will say this. I think I said it last episode. If I didn't, I mean, you knew about this because I told you off camera, off mics. I was in Atlantic City. I've been in Atlantic City in over 20 years. Right? I had to go for work. So I didn't watch it live. I didn't get a chance to watch it live because I was actually working. But I did catch it. I was up until like 2 a.m. watching.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not surprising. This was like a 4-hour epic. I mean, Christ.
Yeah, with the pre-show and everything. So I did stay in my hotel room, watching it on my laptop. Definitely stayed up to 2 a.m. And I had to check out, and then I had to check out at like 8 o'clock in the morning. The next morning.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What motel were you staying at? Was this a pay by the hour and your company was like?
No, I had to go. I had to come back to New York. I had to come back to New York. No, checkout's at 11, but
typically it's 11 to 12. Yeah.
No, but I was catching a train, and my train left at a certain time, so I had to check out, at a certain time to make the train. So I'm still exhausted. I really haven't had a day to myself actually, because I come back and I had to work, and then the next day we have to record. So here we are. Yeah. I will say, generally my overall thoughts, Game Awards, pretty good, right? Pretty good. But, there were two standouts for me. One, Al Pacino. Yes! Al Pacino at the Game Awards.
That was the standout for you?
It was a standout because it was the most surprising / shocking.
I mean, it was surprising, but...
And / awkward. So it was the best.
Oh, it was. Look, and I love me some Al Pacino. He. I was gonna say he is a great actor. He's been in some great stuff, but he's not a gamer, right? That was just a major flex by Jeff Keighley. Who's the biggest splash I can get for the Game Awards, right? He got Al Pacino. Like I love Al Pacino, but it was just, I mean, and like he was certainly trying, he was out there like being energetic and whatnot. Like I didn't think he didn't want to be there. Like he was definitely trying, and it was.
I love his moment. I love the moment where he said, "Yeah, this is pretty different for me."
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't kind of mad at all that, but like, why don't you get like Henry Cavill, right? Why don't you get like Superman, right? Like he is legit a gamer. Or get like Terry Crews. He's a gamer, right?
I'll be honest. Al Pacino is 82 years old.
He's old,
right? And if you say, "Hey, look, this may be your only chance to get Al Pacino," right? Like I can get Henry Cavill next year, right? I can get Terry Crews next year. You're like, this may be your only chance. He's 82 years old. You don't know how long he has left, to be honest, right? I'm going to take it, and I'm going to say this was a flex move, and it was a good flex move. I think Al Pacino, because he's Al Pacino, I don't think they prepared him well, right? Because he couldn't read the teleprompter.
Because he's old. Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, this is where you know, and I love he did improvise, and again, it was a little awkward just because he was improvising. I you know, and look, it was sort of like the right thing to have him present like best voice actor, right?
I guess. I mean,
that makes sense.
If you wanna give any credit to any sort of theming, sure, yeah.
But listen, I thought it was the most shocking and one of the most awkward moments. But I will say another awkward moment we did not discuss. We did not discuss this off mics. I didn't realize there was a random kid at the game of the year, which I'll talk about in a minute. I'm not gonna talk about it right now. But the game of the year was announced, right? And some random kid just came on stage and started talking.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know the whole story behind that, right? Like, I don't know. Like, he just went up with the crowd.
He just totally Kanye'd.
He did. Yeah. Apparently, he was putting on a fake accent. And like you could see, like, why is this little kid up there? Like, is it part of someone's family? Like, and how did like security not like realize, like, you got to be on top of that, right? But I guess
Jeff Keighley did say that he was arrested.
Oh, he was, 100%. Yeah. I mean, he was just a little kid who was just trying to, he probably got a ticket because his parents are connected or whatever, and he's like, hey, come to the Game Awards with me or whatever. So I'm sure he had a ticket. I don't think he like snuck in like that, but he's probably just like, I'm gonna go up on stage and do something stupid because I'm like 10 years old, and he legit did and said some weird stuff about Bill Clinton. So
made no sense.
No, like, I don't know, like Jewish rabbi pastor Bill Clinton. Like, I like to dedicate this. Like, I don't know where that came from. I don't know what that was about. If there's some conspiracy theory behind that I don't know about, then I guess I don't know about it. But yeah, I think it was just nonsense.
All right, so let's start the show off with the Game Award winners. All right, the Game Awards 2022 winners. So, Game of the Year. Best game direction, best RPG, and best art direction all went to Elden Ring.
No surprises. Right. No surprises there. If it didn't go to Elden Ring or God of War, I would have been surprised. Maybe Horizon. I think Horizon was in the mix too.
Horizon was in the mix, but Horizon didn't have a realistic chance to win, to be honest.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, this was a 2-game race. This was a 2-horse race.
Wow, you really Game
of the Year.
You really liked Horizon too. I know we talked about it last episode that these are the two contenders, but
no. I liked Horizon, and for me, it would have been between God of War and Horizon.
Oh well, you hate Elden Ring. I know that. I know that.
Elden Ring. Yeah.
But how is Horizon not in the mix?
Horizon was never realistically in the mix for the masses. I understand. I understand.
People love that game.
I understand how I feel, and I understand how everybody else feels.
Well, I mean, no. Like, if you said, like, I don't think Elden Ring is going to win, like, I get that. No, I mean, I wouldn't get that, right? If you say, I don't think Elden Ring should win, that I understand because you hate that game. You're just not a fan of the genre. But I don't know. People love Horizon. It's getting like 9s and 10s.
They don't love it. They don't love it that much to make it Game of the Year.
Elden
Ring or God of War.
Okay.
Elden Ring or God of War.
I mean, I would say that too, but I'm saying that a little bit more because just wasn't a fan of the first one so much, and it just couldn't really get into the game world, so it doesn't really resonate for me. So there's a little bit of personal bias involved, but I would have said it was a 3-horse race in that case.
And so no, I didn't think when they announced the nominees, like at no point did I ever hear anybody say Horizon.
Right? Wow, all right. Yeah.
Like, it was always God of War is amazing, and then Elden Ring. Like, it was one of those two.
Sure.
Right? Like, nobody said Stray may win.
Sure.
Nobody said Horizon may win.
No. Stray was the one, like, we have to be different pick. And not to say that Stray's not a beautiful game and Stray doesn't deserve some awards, and they may have won, some awards. We'll definitely note if they have in just a little bit. But that was like the Celeste or the Hades of this year was like Stray.
I listen. If Elden Ring didn't win Best RPG, I probably would have been like super shocking. I mean, honestly, a lot of
could have been Genshin Impact.
Yeah, no, a lot of the winners were not shocking, with the exception of one, which we'll get to in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, Elden Ring, Game of the Year, right, and Best Game Direction, RPG, and Art Direction.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could argue with that. Yeah,
but before that, God of War was racking it up, right? God of War was winning category after category after category, right? Like they won Best Narrative, Best Audio Design, Best Innovation and Accessibility, Best Performance by Christopher Judd. And we just talked about Al Pacino. He presented Christopher Judd with the Best Performance Award. And Best Action Adventure Game all went to God of War. So God of War, didn't win Game of the Year, but it definitely racked up the most awards at the Game Awards this year. So with five altogether.
Now, how do you feel about, because it was dominated by Elden Ring and God of War, right? How do you feel about that, right? I mean, after a minute, I'm like, Elden Ring or God of War is going to win Best Sports Racing Game, and they're not even nominated at this point. Like,
it's gonna win Best Multiplayer Game. I don't even think there is multiplayer in God of War.
Yeah, like I know these games are amazing, right? They're like 10s out of 10s in their own right? Whether whether you're into the combat of Elden Ring or whatever, you can see why that game would be nominated. You can see why it wins, right? Like, there's objectively good reasons why these games are, put up for these awards. But
I'll be honest, I know what you're trying to say, and I'll be honest.
Does it hit every category 10 out of 10? Right? Is that really true of these games? Because there's some things I could nitpick about both games.
No, true. But like Elden Ring more so. Okay, if you want to say overall the game of Elden Ring, Game of the Year, I can live. I disagree, but I can live with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best RPG, it's an RPG, all right? Like I'm not a big RPG fan, but I can, that's great. Art direction, I even gave it to Elden Ring.
Yeah,
I think I gave it to Elden Ring art direction, right? But best game direction, like really, like I thought that would be Horizon. Like I thought one of these, like best game direction or best narrative, may go to Horizon. And I think Horizon should have won that category, to be honest.
Well, that's my point, right? Like, does God of War hit all those notes? Does Elden Ring hit all those notes? Like,
well, okay, but let's look at what God of War won. Best narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was that was a 2-horse race for me between Horizon and God of War. They gave it to God of War. I'm not mad at it, but Horizon definitely should have been like in the mix right behind that. Best audio design, I can give it to God of War. It had great sound, innovation and accessibility, and not something really for me to speak on, but others have spoke on it, and the accessibility options on it were awesome. I thought maybe The Last of Us Part 1 would have had that, because I know Naughty Dog does a really good job.
They go above and beyond too. Yeah.
Best performance by Christopher Judd, hands down, 100% agree with that one. And action adventure game, I can't be mad at God of War. It's really, I think I scratched my head only at best game direction. I think that is where Horizon should have won, or maybe even God of War should have won that one as well.
I mean, it's just a little because I don't know. I guess it happened in 2018 too with the original God of War, and Red Dead also picked up a bunch of awards too. But I guess I would have liked to have seen some more variety in the awards, right? And I'm not trying to take away from these two games, but
All right, well, you want variety? I'm gonna give you variety. You know what? Nintendo, they didn't do too bad. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, Nintendo got a best multiplayer game, which was a shocker to me, was Splatoon 3.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think they would have won. I didn't think they would have won that. But Splatoon 3 is a great game. I think you should play it. I love that game.
Yeah. No, I'm always a fan of the Splatoon games.
But best sim and strategy game went to Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I know that's really a Ubisoft game, but it has the name Mario in it, so it's a Nintendo game.
I mean,
and obviously it's a Nintendo only exclusive, right? Not on any other platform. And the best action game went to Bayonetta 3.
Sure. Sure.
So Nintendo didn't do too bad either, right? So there's sort of your variety right there.
Well, I mean, but God of War wasn't nominated for those like categories, so I mean, it has to.
And
be
that's why they
else.
won. And that's why they won. God of War.
That's not a good case for it. They can't win a category it's not nominated for.
God of War, and Elden Ring didn't win. they weren't nominated, so they won.
Yeah. That would be an upset.
And then best family game. And I told you this is a sleeper hit, Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Sure.
And Kirby and the Forgotten Land is like one of my top 5. It was like one of my half games of the year. Right? I thought that was the best Kirby game ever made, to be honest. And all he had to do was swallow a car.
Jeez.
That's all he had to do.
Yeah.
Best sports and racing game went to Gran Turismo 7.
Sure. Yeah.
Can't be really mad at that, but I will say this is a case of why the Game Awards should be like in January, February, right? So you can get the whole year of game releases.
It makes it a little neater, yeah, because now it's November to November, right? That's the time. So
because Need for Speed, I think Need for Speed definitely. I'm not saying Need for Speed would have won it over Gran Turismo 7. But
I don't think
nominated. I definitely should have been nominated. Yeah. I think Need for Speed Unbound is great.
I'm sure it's a very good game, but just Gran Turismo is just so expansive and so big that whatever Need for Speed, like if Need for Speed is like 50 to 70 cars in the game, you would go, wow, that's a lot of cars. You compare that to Gran Turismo where they have like 500 to 600 cars. It's like, well, and it's just got so much more to it. So it feels like it overshadows it.
It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And
but it goes into it, right?
No, I know, but the Need for Speed definitely is something here that should have been, definitely should have been.
It would have been nominated, probably, yeah.
Definitely should have been nominated. I'm not saying they should have won. And then even going back to art direction, Elden Ring won art direction, but Callisto Protocol, for all the issues people may have with the gameplay, or people can't play it on really PC because it glitches out, but. Art direction with Callisto Protocol is like fantastic.
Well, did that make the cut or no? I don't think I made the cut.
No, it didn't make the cut because it came out in December. It came out last week.
Right.
So, or earlier this week. So it definitely didn't make the cut, and it should have made the cut. Is what I'm trying to say. Right. And there's your variety. You never know. Need for Speed could have been nominated for Game of the Year, and not to say they would have won.
Oh, yeah.
But, there's some of your variety right there. I think. The biggest shocker of all of these, and it didn't me or you, nobody. I don't think anybody's seen this coming. Best fighting game didn't go to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure 2, or it didn't go to King of Fighters 15. It went to the Multiverse.
Multiverses, yeah.
Multiverses won best fighting game.
The Warner Brothers fighting game, yeah.
As a matter of fact, it beat Sifu, which technically isn't a fighting game.
Well, I mean, yeah, it wasn't a very big year for fighters. The biggest one to come out is King of Fighters 15, right? So, but I think King of Fighters,
which should have won this category.
DNF Duel. Also very good. People seem to like it. DNF Duel, made by the same guys who did Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue, Arc System Works, as well as Nexon and some other people. And it's based off an established property, a hack and slash brawler, Chinese brawler, DNF dungeon something fighter or whatever. But it's apparently very good, and people seem to like it a lot. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll pick it up.
What's that?
I don't know. Do they have a physical copy for that game? I didn't even see it.
DNF Duel? I think so.
All right. But if they do, I got to pick it up now.
You do. It's true.
No, I mean, listen, we both, when we went over, like 3 episodes ago, when we went over sort of like the nominee, and I voted live while we were doing the show.
We did. Yeah, well, you did. I was voting because you were making some bad picks too, so I had to get in there and make some votes.
I made some great picks. I just gave everything to God of War. When we went over fighting game, I think we both scarfed at. Oh, the multiverses? No. It's King of Fighters or D&D or JoJo's, Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, DNF.
Yeah.
You can actually get a copy of DNF for PlayStation 5 on sale for $25 right now. So there you go.
Done. I'll have it next episode.
Of course you will.
So, yeah, it must be really. It must be. We must be wrong. It's something that we missed. I mean, this game must be really good. Like, I mean, it's a Smash Brothers clone, right? And it must be really good. It has a variety of fighters, right? I mean, you could fight with Scooby-Doo, you could fight with like the animated Batman, you could fight with the Ninja Turtles, right?
You can fight with a lot of people for sure, but I mean,
all the Warner Brothers properties.
Yeah, like including characters from Game of Thrones, because that's under umbrella, because it's HBO. So it's getting like 78 to 80. It's fine. It's a good game apparently. I guess it's better than we thought. I mean, it won for a reason, but sure, And
then lastly, best debut indie game and best indie game, which I don't think there's a difference, to be honest. I mean, I can't see the
No. Best debut indie game is the first game from that studio.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then best indie game is just
I guess,
in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now, all right, I got you. Because when I read it, I was like, best debut indie game. Like,
yeah.
The first game from that studio. Okay,
yeah.
All right, that makes
because you would think, a game comes out, that's the debut. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking. It debuted. That's its debut. But okay, now it's the first game from a studio plus the best indie game. Both went to Stray.
Yep.
Still don't have my physical copy. I am 8-bit. Ship it.
So you can just buy it from Amazon right now and just say, "Hey, I want to cancel my order from I am 8-bit." So
no, it's the like it's a special edition. I get like cards and something. Stuff that come with it.
Fair enough.
Right. So I kind of want it. So, all right. I thought the awards, other than Christopher Judd taking like 20 minutes in his speech.
Oh, that was terribly long. Like I love you, Christopher Judge, but I don't know. You were rambling there at like the 5-minute mark, and they were really generous too.
They played the music. They played the music for him, and
they played the music after like 10 minutes of him talking. Like they let him go, and then they like, all right, we got to get him off the stage, and he still wouldn't go. I'm like, dude, come on. Like you're already up there in 2018. Like everybody knows, make it a 2-minute speech at best, and then get yourself off the stage, right? It's too much. It's too much.
I think he was just, after everything, I think he was just really, really, really happy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Because there was a lot of controversy. Like, he had some, I guess some medical issues or whatever. He was kind of like, he wasn't able to come back and do the recording and whatnot, and it held up the game. And fans are like, hey, where is this new God of War game? Where's this new God of War game? And Christopher Judge came out. Well, Studio Santa Monica came out and said, look, we're sorry for the delays and the whatever, and, the game is going to be coming out soon. We'll let you know, whatever. And then Christopher Judge stepped up and said, no. I am the reason why, because I can't make it to the studio to do the
studio
thing. He stepped up.
The studio never threw him under the bus.
That's right. That's right. And Christopher Judge stepped up and said, no, I can't let you do that. It's me, right? I am the reason. And the game took a while to come back. So I get there was a lot of drama around the game coming out, and and obviously, like they said shortly after the first one, we're gonna make Ragnarok, we're gonna make this like edition, which was originally supposed to be DLC, I think, and then it turned into its own thing, and they're like, nope, we're gonna make it a full game, and so I get it, you're gonna be emotional on stage, but
I will say, just from the award standpoint, I still have the same issue I've had every year, where they do these sort of quick time events where, hey, best art direction, here are the nominees, and it goes to Elden Ring. All right, let's go, to the next category, right? And it's like
the lesser cared about categories, I guess. All right.
Well, no. I mean, it's not even the lesser known categories. There was, like best narrative. I think was, best narrative, and I think best like art direction. Was included in these quick time events.
Sure,
a lot of these were in the quick time events, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like he's just on the sidelines. He's just like, hey, here are the nominees, and God of War won. All right, we're next up. And I just feel like all the esports stuff I get, like, I listen. I understand that a lot of people are a lot of people are in esports, but people who are watching the Game Awards aren't really big esports fans. And I think we could,
well, I mean, maybe not. Yeah.
and it's, you know, like, I mean, it's like when people talk about like games, right? Like, especially when I talk about games at work, it's like, oh yeah, like I saw the esports thing on ESPN, and I was like, I have no idea, because it's sort of like a divide between like competitive like esports and like sort of like the rest of gaming, right?
Yeah, like you're either really into it or you're just not into it at all. Like, you know, like everybody knows Ninja, but I would bet money on people knowing nobody else other than Ninja. If they had the name 2, right? No one's like gonna say, I don't know, like Shroud or like Dream or whatever else. Like they're not gonna know anybody.
I'll be honest, all I can name is 2 people. Well, first of all, they're not even esports. They're streamers. So that's a different category too. So you got esports.
Well, Ninja like competes, I think. Ninja competes.
Well, all I know is 2. I only know 2. I only know Ninja and Dr. Disrespect. That's all.
Him too. Him too.
That's all I know. I only know these 2. Right? But I feel like I want to give more to some of these awards, right? Because it's the Game Awards, not like E3 in December. But it is E3 in December technically.
Well,
I would do, and I know in the pre-show a lot of these are in the pre-show.
Yeah, they did at least like 10 awards during the pre-show. Yeah,
I would do like sort of like a pre-show with just like the esports guys, and it would have been good to have the esports, because when they did the esports, and some of them they did on the pre-show too. When they did the esports stuff, it was like nobody was there or nobody accepted the award. There was no speeches, and I think they deserve their time in the spotlight too. And I don't know, and I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I totally, and then I get it. I don't know if like esports has like their own sort of event where these people can be celebrated, right?
Well, I mean, there's all the tournaments and whatnot, but I don't know if they necessarily have like esports award shows.
No, I know, and you know, I don't know if they have esports like, you know, sort of, you know, award shows or anything like that. And if they do, then you know what, I'm wrong in what I'm saying. But this could be their only time. You know, if they don't, this could be their only time to get some, you know, a spotlight shined on them, and I want them to get their time, and you know, I want them to get their 15 minutes, right? So it would be nice. I'm just saying it would be nice if they had their, you know, during a pre-show, there's an esports pre-show. So if you're not in the esports, then you don't have to, you know, come in, right? And then they can come in and you know, thank whoever they need to thank and say how much the award means to them.
I'm gonna stop you right now. On Tuesday, December 13th, there is the esports awards in Las Vegas.
Okay, you know what? I stand corrected.
I was actually pretty curious because like on the one hand, I get that like video game awards have come a long way, right? Even like the Game Awards came a long way back from when they were on Spike. It was a very different tone. It was very different. And they've tried
the video game awards.
I know.
Video game awards.
And they've tried gaming awards all throughout history. There's like the Golden Joystick is a thing. And there was ones, I remember watching some ones in like the early 90s that were on like TBS that were only around, like they only did them like 1 or 2 years and they just kind of went away. So I understand it's tough, you know, it's hard to do and like, you know, whatever else. But so I wasn't actually sure when I went to go look up esports awards, am I going to find an esports, like a big prominent esports show? And it looks pretty big. So not to say that we shouldn't give them shine, but they're definitely going to get it in a few days.
And it's sponsored by Lexus, so they got all the good sponsors. So you know what? Okay, I take back everything.
Okay, I'm just saying they got their thing. And like I get what you're trying to get at. Like you want to give everybody equal time. But I mean, like
not necessarily equal time, but some time. That's
like the Oscars do the same thing. The Emmys do the same thing. They'll always have a point where they'll go, like all the technical awards, right? Like you may get one in the main award show, like maybe best special effects, right?
So what they,
but like set design and like costume design or whatever else, they'll do like a package. They'll like throw it over to a package for like 2 minutes, and then they'll get back to the show, and then they knocked out like 10 awards.
So I did date somebody who who actually got to go to like the Oscars and stuff because she worked in that field.
Oh,
many moons ago. Okay. And they do say a lot of awards on stage. It's just not televised.
Well, they gotta cut for time. Well,
it's during commercial break, so it's not televised.
Sure.
So a lot of those, this is the best technical thing, going on. It's Iron Man 2, right?
Right.
That person is not going to be on TV, but they did get a chance to hear their name, hear the claps. They go on stage, and they probably have like less than 30 seconds to give a speech.
Okay,
and then that's it, because because now the commercial's about to be over.
Right.
So
right.
So I'm saying I don't know if they do that at the Game Awards, right?
I don't think they do, because there wasn't a lot of time for that, if there even was. Like, you maybe get like a game trailer, but then it comes back, and then Keeley will be like, and now we have this one, and now we have this one. There wasn't a lot of back-to-back stuff. So
all right, well, I'm glad you said that. So let's get into the second part of the Game Awards. This is the Game Award announcements, right? This is what we're all here for. And he did say he cut back on. Well, he did cut back on the time for the Game Awards.
Sure, he was trying to, at least. Yeah, and I feel like Christopher Judge's speech certainly threw the pacing off a lot, because then it's like, oh shoot, now we have to like run through a bunch of stuff, because like, and not to say he was the only time drain, but like that it was kind of like, it was a good 10 minutes on stage of him just like talking about stuff, and then they're like, so I feel like that kind of like pushed him to move through some of the stuff a little bit. But
so we're not going to get into every single game or every single announcement. We're gonna try to fly through a lot of them.
Yeah. And there was some good stuff. Like, I was very happy with the announcements. And I will also say, before we get into this, like, I know a lot of people criticize it, like there's way too many just trailers and getting you to buy stuff and the whatever and this and that. This was the best it's ever been. I didn't see a lot of like Intel and NVIDIA promoting their latest CPUs and GPUs necessarily. They were there for sure, but it was more like, here's some upcoming games, right? And they were really good games. And it's the same as E3, right? The only reason you watch E3 is to see what's going to be announced, right? So how is the Game Awards any different? They give out awards, everybody gets time, and then they intersperse game trailers. Like, I don't know. I'm definitely not mad at it.
I feel like you say that like every year.
Maybe I do, but like, and I get maybe there's too much, but I think this year they hit the right balance of it, even though it was still a little bit long. I mean, and I don't know, they just had like good stuff, and maybe like that was the big thing, is they had a lot of really good stuff to show.
So like every year for the last 3 years, I feel like you're like, well, it's the best it's ever been. It's just, and I'm not, I'm not saying that as a negative. I'm saying that they're doing better. I still think, this clocked at about 3 hours ish, right?
Yep.
A little over 3 hours if we count the pre-show. I think if we can get it down to a solid 3 hours complete with the pre-show.
Right? Oh, well then you can't have all the esports winners and the whatever come on stage and talk for 5 minutes.
I said scrap everything.
No, I know, but I'm just saying you gotta pick and choose at that point. Yeah,
they got their own awards. So scrap everything. Scrap everything I ever said.
Okay.
All right, but let's get into the E3 style announcements, right? This is not in any particular order, okay? So, just, keep that in mind. And again, we're not going to go over every single thing. But
right.
Final Fantasy XVI. We got a new trailer.
Finally.
Right? And it's coming out in June of 2023, and it's a PS5 exclusive.
Yep. Not surprising there. Was surprised about the launch, because we haven't heard a lot about this. The last time was on the stage of E3 maybe 2 years ago or whatever. I don't know if they did anything this year, and I was getting a little worried. I'm like, when's this game coming out? And so good to hear. It looks amazing.
Story. Listen to the story. Come on, the story.
Oh, I'm converting you, Dan. I'm converting.
Well, first of all, it's an action game. It's not turn-based. So
Oh yeah.
It's easy. It's a little bit easier to convert me in that how. But the story, the kid, the prince, he's got hit off the horse, and the guy's like, run, and he's terrified, and he can't run, and then all you see is like the cut. Because you don't know if he like hit him with his sword and he's dead. Is he dead? Is he not dead?
No,
like
he's the main character. He's not gonna die.
We don't know that, but that's
they
got me. They got me now, right? Like they tugged on my strings. Story is what gets me to get into the games, and now Final Fantasy 16. Maybe my number 2 Final Fantasy of all time, because nothing can beat 7 in my book. So
there you go. Spoken like a traditional Final Fantasy fan. Everybody loves Part 7. It's good.
So, we got that. We also got. This was like sort of like the worst kept secret, because I think this was like sort of kind of leaked a few months ago, and we did. I don't even think it made the run of the show. Back then, I don't think I put this in the show, but it's official. From Software revealed Armored Core 6. Right? Like it's coming. It's real. Yeah. It's real. So I mean, the last Armored Core game was like in 2011, 2012.
Yeah, some around that time. Yeah. I think maybe Part 5 or one of the other ones. There is. I actually looked it up a little bit ago. There are far more than 6 Armored Core games. They are considered spin-offs and side stories, but
yes, not the main core armor.
Well, I mean, you looked at one Armored Core game and another Armored Core game. You wouldn't be able to tell me which one's a main one and which one's a side story. Because they're all giant mech combat games.
I forgot this series even started on the original PlayStation. I thought this started on the PS2, but now the original Armored Core is on the PS2. Yeah,
that's right.
I mean PS1.
That's right.
And I mean that's just in the West. Who knows if Armored Core where they actually started? But I'm okay. We haven't had a real mech game, a good one in a long time.
It's been a little bit. Yeah, for sure. And it looks amazing. It looks very nice.
I just hope it's not like Elden Ring. Hope it's not like Elden Ring. Hope it's not Elden Ring hard.
Yeah.
Something surprising. They announced Hades 2. Right? We got a gameplay.
I thought it was just going to be DLC.
I thought it was going to be a DLC too, but they had the 2 on it. So he plays a different protagonist.
Well, you play as the gods, and you have to make your way down into the fire of hell and defeat one of the gods of the underworld. I forget who they said you were going after.
I think I forgot the protagonist's name, but you play as like Hades' daughter, right? And you have to free Hades, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right? Oh, maybe that is right. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were playing as one of the. I'm not too keen on the Greek lore. I think you may be right though. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's definitely a female protagonist.
It is. Yeah.
And I think you're the daughter of Hades. You're going down to hell to free Hades. I think that's the key. I mean, listen, Hades 1, I played a lot of it. I have it on the Switch.
Oh, that's right. She's the princess of the underworld. You're right.
I didn't play a lot of it.
I love that game. The first one was amazing. And this looks right in line, the same exact art style, same engine, which I'm not complaining about. It's beautiful, the first game, and it still holds up, even though it only came out like a year or two ago. But so good. So good.
All right. Then we got the new game by Ken Levine, right? He was sort of the co-creator or the main guy.
He was the creator of BioShock, yeah.
BioShock. And it was called Judas. And honestly, when I saw this, when I originally saw it, I was like, is this like BioShock 4? Is this the BioShock 4 game that everybody's been clamoring for? But no, it's sort of like a spiritual successor to BioShock.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
we don't.
He doesn't own the rights to it. 2K does, which is why they're doing Part 4, and he's not involved. But I mean, good ideas die hard, and he's still got some good ideas with the whole kind of BioShock aesthetic. It looks like she's got some sort of psychic powers or whatever. The main character, it looks super cool.
Yeah, but she, I know when he sort of left 2K. And he started his own studio, and they sort of had like a smaller project that they were working on that never came to fruition. I don't know. At some point, they probably said, "Screw it, let's do what we know." I know we were doing something smaller, but let's do what we do best, right? This is the type of game that we know how to make.
Right.
So Judas, I wonder what the meaning behind is. We don't know really anything about this game, so it's the first time it got announced. So this could be cool. This could be sort of the Callisto Protocol to Dead Space, right? And I think Callisto Protocol, as a side note, I think it's a game for me, which means it's not a game for everyone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's got aspects that you like about it for sure.
Yeah, if you're not going to give me all the ammo, which apparently you need for the final boss, give me a way to like chop people up with an axe or something, and they do, right? So it is survival horror, less on the survival part.
Right.
more of a horror game. So, all right, that was a side note. I digress. Let's get back on track. Cyberpunk. Idris Elba joined Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty as an expansion. Idris is in a game with Keanu Reeves. That's right. This could be interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. Idris is great. I love him. He's a consummate professional. Very good.
Let me ask you a question. I was thinking about this when I was watching it. Has Idris Elba ever been in a video game before? Is this his first gaming? Like, is this his first game that he's ever been in?
Yes. I would say the same for Keanu, too. I know there was that John Wick Hex game that came out, which technically maybe that was his first game, but it was really close to the launch of Cyberpunk. But Keanu, his first game was The Matrix. Like, he did the mocap and all that stuff, right? Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, all right. Yeah, then I guess, sure. Okay. Yeah, so he's definitely done some stuff before. I would say that this is Idris's first game. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he's done other stuff. You know, he could have been a GTA voice actor or something. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know if this is his first. When I was watching, I was super hyped, but I was like, has he been in any other video games before other than this? Like, this is kind of strange. So, okay, all right. So we got that. We got the new Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I was so hyped for this. I mean, they announced it before the Game Awards, but we got the trailer at the Game Awards, right? It's coming out in March. We got a release window. It's coming out in March. That's crazy. It looks super cool with different type of mechanics, and you got the lightsaber with you got the different lightsaber with the light coming out of the side. Like, this was cool. Yep. And you know, like, he has a beard. So I guess this is a couple of years after the original Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. Cal's a little older. All right.
Yeah, and with different force abilities. Now, I do want to. I'm trying to sort of, calm some of my excitement down, because are they going to make me work for these force abilities over again, or am I going to start with some force abilities and I can get even better force abilities going forward?
Like how they just give you the Blades of Chaos in God of War right off the bat, more or less?
Yeah.
That's a good question, because when I was playing God of War, I had that same question. Oh, do I get the Blades of Chaos right away? And lo and behold, I do. So that I don't know. Maybe not. It would be nice to have your previous stuff, right? If your character could carry over, right?
I'm just looking at the gameplays. Like, you have a different mechanics with the force powers. So I hope they give you sort of like general force powers over again.
Yeah.
You can build upon that, right? So I guess the question is, will we? You didn't beat it, so I can't.
No, I am stuck at the battle. I think with the main villain in that round room.
No. Well, I don't know.
It's like halfway through. I think she's the main villain, but I couldn't get past it.
I will say, I know we gave Death Stranding, the original Death Stranding game, our Game of the Year 2020. Was it 2020 or 2019? I forgot.
2019, I think.
2019. But, Jedi Fallen Order was my personal Game of the Year that year.
It was good. It was good. I made the case that it had a lot of bugs. There was a lot of visual glitches, and there were some bugs in that game. Wasn't necessarily game breaking, but it didn't necessarily, to me, it didn't have the polish that Death Stranding did, even though they're two completely kind of different style games. But yeah. I mean, it was, trust me, it was neck and neck that year. You know, we had a knockdown, drag out fight between those two.
Yeah. Speaking of fighting, Street Fighter 6. You got a trailer with Street Fighter. DJ is back. He's going to be back. He's a playable character.
Yeah.
And we got a release date, June 2nd. Mm-hmm. So, Street Fighter 6, June 2nd. Not a PS5 exclusive. Coming out.
Which is
Xbox,
that is actually a little bit surprising. I was surprised when they did it for 5, and I thought just like, oh, Sony's trying to capture that.
Yeah, I was surprised when they did it for 5, but they sort of put money into it, so that made sense. I can understand that. But.
Well, right, and I was thinking that since they bought Evo as the fighting game tournament, we need to secure Street Fighter, but Sony, I guess not.
No, Sony's going to get the marketing for Street Fighter 6, but not. You know,
well, that's something they got to pay for too, right? Like you got to pay for the exclusive marketing.
But the marketing is cheaper than actually funding the game development of it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But either way, it looks beautiful. They have a create a character mode. You can run around Metro City, which is awesome. They got a lot of Mike Hagar nods in there. Mayor of Metro City, best damn Capcom character ever. Will he be a playable character? No, because Capcom never likes to do that, except for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where he was a playable character. Yeah. And it was amazing. And he had the pipe. It was great. And when he did his spinning lariat, he took a little bit of health away, just like in the original Final Fight. So they know all the little details. When they want to do it right, they do it right. And it was I love that game. I love Mike Hagar. I wish he was a playable character in the game, but they're like, we already have Zangief, and Zangief has all the moves because he's also a wrestler. No, they are completely different characters. You can make 2 different grappler characters like that. There's a ton of grapplers in the game. I'm sorry. I'm getting heated.
I can feel that.
It's still going to be great. I'm going to buy. They have Cody. They have Guy. They have Sodom / Katana. They have Abigail, right? They have Mickey, I think, in Street Fighter Alpha 3 from Final Fight 2. They have so many characters from the Final Fight universe, and yet they have Andore / Hugo. They have everybody. And then Mike Hagar, the protagonist, I would argue, of that whole entire series, one of their first big characters, they're just like, nah, nobody wants to play as Mike Hagar. It's like, come on. I can't. I'm sorry. It's just too much, Dan. It's terrible.
Get that off your chest? You got that off the chest? Okay. Well, you know what? I wasn't going to talk about this.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I took up a little bit of time.
I did cut this from the show, so it's not on the notes. But we got a trailer for Tekken 8, and I know you love Tekken. I know you love Tekken. And we got a trailer for Tekken 8.
I do. And you know who I didn't see in that trailer? Brian Fury. Although he probably will be in the game, though. I think he's been in every Tekken since he debuted in Tekken 3. So he's usually a lock as a character. So I'm not really too worried about that, but I just, I hope he's in there. But yeah. And you know what? They both look amazing. They both look great. I'm definitely going to get both. So
then we got, I don't know if you're going to get this, but we got a release date or release window, June 2023, Diablo 4.
That's right. And Diablo Immortal is a train wreck. It is very much a mobile game. That is not the game that fans want. And they are righting the wrongs, right? When they had that BlizzCon and somebody asked about what are you going to do? You got a new Diablo and whatnot. And or they were asking about Diablo or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you guys have cell phones, don't you? Like, he was really trying to push the fact that Diablo Immortal is like a new mainline Diablo game and it's going to be great. And you guys all have cell phones, don't you? And it was just a train wreck. Nobody wanted it. The game came out. It's heavy with DLC and microtransactions. It's a terrible mess. Diablo 4 is the game that people want. It looks great. I think it was really cool. They got Halsey to do the main theme song, I think, which was kind of neat. She came out and had the gothic outfit or whatever, the dress, and she was doing the theme song. I'm like, okay. Okay, I get behind this. So, yeah, man, June's gonna be a big year. June's gonna be a big month for 2023, I should say.
Well, you know what's gonna be big in April when Super Mario Brothers movie comes out. We got another clip. Another trailer for the Mario Brothers, and we got to see Toad. We got to see sort of like the town of the Mushroom Kingdom, and then we got some pipe. We got some pipe work, right, going through the pipes, and we get to see the castle. So, I am totally for Chris Pratt being the voice. He sounds great. I understand the original voice actor from Mario
Charles
is
Martinet.
still alive, and I get it, and I do get it, right, but. He's a little bit older. I know, if you want to go forward, right, with this, you don't want this to be the only movie. You want to have a few movies under your belt.
Also
right?
true.
You got to go a little bit younger. Younger, plus name recognition. And I don't think Chris Pratt is that bad. Now, for people that are our age, I could see why they could, they're, a little hesitant to accept him. But I guarantee you when kids go see this, no one's going to care. Like, none of these kids are going to care.
I will also say, and this may be a little bit controversial too, and I'm going to also preface it by saying I love you, Charles Martinet. You're amazing, super nice. Almost got to meet and greet with you at the Nintendo store, but I couldn't. I let somebody go ahead of me, and he got the last meet and greet. I ain't salty about that. It's fine. You seem like a wonderful dude, and how much have we heard of Charles Martinet? Talking as Mario, and you're going to say yes, every single game where there's voice acting has been by Charles Martinet, but they don't let Mario talk in full sentences, so it's only like little quips.
No, listen, and you know what? You know why people our age shouldn't be mad, and this really I had to think about this, and no one brings this up. Captain Lou Albano played Mario.
That's right. He was the OG one, right?
Right, yeah. He was Mario in a cartoon. Now, I don't remember, I'll be honest, because, this was a long time ago. I don't remember what came out first. Because remember, Mario in the first Mario game, or probably the second Mario, I don't even know when Mario had a voice, to be honest. But Mario didn't have a voice.
I think it was the cartoon. No,
I'm saying when in the video games, when did Mario first get a voice? Because he didn't get a voice in the first game. There was no voice acting in the first game.
It was there was a PC game, I think in 1995. It was it was a weird like Go Fish card game or whatever with Mario, and that was Martinet's first time voicing Mario.
All right, so Martinet wasn't the original voice actor. Like Captain Lou Albano, who is no longer with us,
technically,
was the first Mario voice actor.
Yeah.
So Charles was second. So nobody should be salty that we have Chris Pratt being the third.
Right. We had Mario's voice actors come before, and we will have them come after Martinet. As much as we love you, Martinet. I mean, you're amazing. Don't get me wrong, but
listen. I don't want Chris Pratt in the video game. Unless they do sort of a Mortal Kombat Mario style video game.
Yeah, no. He can't be the be the video game voice actor. No, it's a bridge too far. But he can do the movies. Yeah, he can do the movies.
I thought Toad was fine, and we're not going to go over down the whole.
That's Keegan-Michael Key. Come on now, Keegan-Michael Key is Toad.
That is, and I love it. And it didn't even sound like Key. It didn't even sound like him to me, right?
No,
he did a great job. I didn't even sound like him. So I am super hyped for the movie. I'm sure we're going to get one more trailer, and that's all I want. That's it. Don't give me any more. I want to see the movie. I'm going to see the movie. I wish I had a kid so I could take a kid. I may just take a random kid to the movie.
Dan, you can't do that, Dan. No. We here at Rated G do not condone the acts and actions of a one Dan Robinson. All right, good. Okay. I'm in the clear.
I'm just going to take random kids.
No!
Like, hey, I'm just going to go to a school and be like, hey, guys. The class trip. Let's go see Mario. On me, my treat.
It's going to become a one-man show, Dan. I'll be sure to visit you in prison. Oh man, that's funny. I get what you're saying.
I'm super hyped for the movie.
Yeah, this is definitely like it's going to be family movie of the year for sure.
Well, speaking. It's going to win best adaptation, right? Like.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we win best adaptation. All right, speaking of voice actors, rest in peace again to Kevin Conroy. He was 66. He was older than a lot of people thought. I don't think you didn't think he was that old. Like he was 66 years old. He was, close to the 70s. We got another clip, not gameplay, but another clip from the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, where Kevin Conroy will reprise his role one last time, at least in a video game adaptation. As Batman, and we get to play this because it has a new release date of May 26th.
Since it's coming out so soon, right? It's like 5 months away, right? Why didn't we see any gameplay? We got another teaser trailer. We didn't get any gameplay whatsoever. That was a little troubling. I know it's Rocksteady. Rocksteady's great. They made all the Batman games they made are amazing, but it's a little troubling at this point. We haven't actually seen like gameplay footage. It was just one big cutscene. It looked cool.
Wait, have we not seen any gameplay at all?
I mean, I don't think we've seen anything that's like, oh, here's like gameplay of somebody running around. It's like all either been in engine or these pre-rendered cutscenes or whatnot, right?
I think you're correct.
Which is a little bit troubling.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
And like, if it's coming out in May, I think it possibly could be pushed.
Well, you know what? I think because it's Rocksteady, we can give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Like they made the Batman Arkham games. Like this game is sort of the same vein.
I'm sure it'll be good when it comes out. I just don't know if it's ready. That's my thing.
Then we got Nintendo. We got a new Nintendo game, Bayonetta Origin.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Cereza and the Lost Demon was announced coming out in March 17th. It's a totally different style of a game than the other Bayonetta games. Cereza's sort of origin story. That's why it's called Bayonetta Origins, and it's sort of in the art style of Okami, right?
A little bit, yeah. It had that top down. It felt a little like Hades in that kind of top down style, and she's kind of running around the game world. But it had definitely Okami art style vibes. It could be great. I don't think it's going to be big AAA style Bayonetta. It'll be kind of a smaller. I mean, it's probably still going to be $60, but I don't think it's going to be the big Bayonetta 3 experience style game.
Yeah. Of course, Sony had to come up. Sony was very present at the Game Awards.
Well, they sure were.
Unlike Xbox, but
I mean, after we go through all this stuff, I got some questions about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But we got Horizon Forbidden West DLC called Burning Shores, right? They're in California, Hollywood. They're in Hollywood, actually. Yeah. This will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and it's coming in April.
Yep.
If you bought the PS4 version of this, you won't be able to get the DLC, unfortunately. But this goes to what Dave wanted. Dave said, we want exclusives for the next generation. Why did I could just buy I could have my PS4 and play Horizon Forbidden West. But you know what? You can't play Burning Shores. You need a PS5.
I mean, yeah, I 100% did say that, and I will 100% stand by that. And I get why they're gonna not put it on because it's so much more work, right? Now you gotta make sure that it works for the lowest common denominator. Now with just being on PS5, you can kind of push the graphical envelope forward, right? And you don't have to worry about scaling it down for older hardware. So, yeah.
Yeah, we got that. Then we got, I know Dave, this made Dave super happy. This made Dave's game. I knew as soon as I saw it, Dave, I knew, because we didn't talk. I saw it like later on, a little bit later. I was up to 2 a.m. watching this. We got Death Stranding 2 officially announced. PS5 exclusive. It's not the Xbox game that Hideo Kojima is working on. And by the way, and before you go, he brings Kojima out. He's like, he gave this big theme entrance for like, he's a legend. He's Hideo Kojima. And
Yep.
I was just like, yo. Jeff Keighley is wilding right now.
That is his best friend. That is his best friend. His best friend is Hideo Kojima.
Even though Kojima doesn't speak English,
yeah,
and from the best of my knowledge, Jeff Keighley doesn't speak Japanese.
Nope, but they make it work, Dan. They make
it work. They make it work.
When it first started, I was like, oh, this looks really cool from Kojima Productions. I'm like, is this a new game? I'm a little upset.
His kids game? Is this his kids game?
Yeah.
It started out with like a play set for kids.
Yeah.
But, he's talked about that, that baby from Death Stranding. So.
Mm-hmm. I was a little upset it was a sequel because they told the story of the first one. I was like, oh, this is good. Let it end. Let it kind of be its thing. I don't want any more of Death Stranding necessarily. Funny enough, as much as I love that game, but like the story was the big integral part of why it was so good. I think it was told in a really interesting way, and whatever else. And I was like, I don't think there's anything else left to say. So all that being said, I don't think Death Stranding 2 is going to be like Death Stranding 1. So I think
100% different game.
Yeah, because
different style of game.
Because you can't, like, the whole point of the first game was reconnecting America via this network and trying to get everybody, like, after this big, extinction level event pretty much that happened throughout the world. It's like you need to be the guy to connect everybody back together, right? For the good of the world, or at least the U.S. for the scope of the first game. And it's like, well, you did that, right? You got the world back together. You saved the world. You saved the U.S. I was like, well, now what? So I'm curious to see.
Well, one, Jeff Porter Bridges, Norman Reedus looks a little bit older. He's more gray. He's more gray hair.
Yep.
Everywhere, right? So I would say, apparently he wrote Death Stranding 2 after the COVID, the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, which very, very, very fitting,
Very fitting.
Very fitting.
So, and to be honest, I think this was in his head the whole time when he made Death Stranding, because I think he wanted to shift gears and do something totally different than something he's ever did before with like Castlevania or Metal Gear Solid. But I think we're going back, in my view. I think we're going back to sort of the roots of Metal Gear Solid, right? Like I think I think this is going to be more of a stealth action game than a package delivery game. Right?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think you're going to be delivering any packages.
No. The package delivery days are over.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
But I don't think you're going to be playing as Jeff Porter Bridges. I think you'll be playing as the female this time.
Oh, Fragile. It's possible. Yeah. It's possible.
I think you'd be playing as her, and she will have weapons from the beginning of the game, and it's going to be more of a stealth espionage type of game, I think. And he even said, Jeff Keighley's like, what can you tell us? And he's like, well, just, if you look at the trailer, you could point some things out, right?
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of interesting stuff in that trailer. I noticed, like, a couple of things, but he's like, you got to, like, really go back and watch it again, which I'm definitely going to do.
I saw a lot of those enemies with the, the clickers, on their shoulder, right, to look for the monsters.
Yep.
So I think you will have to look out for those same monsters, but I think it'll be more, again, like espionage type of Metal Gear Solid game. So I knew you were very happy.
I mean, it's interesting to see. I want to see what Kojima does.
Switching gears, we got a new Crash Bandicoot game, right?
Oh yeah, Crash. See this is the Dan announcement here. This is the one that
this is definitely not a Dan announcement, because I don't care about these type of games. Crash Team Rumble. It's a new 4x4 multiplayer game that's coming out next year.
Why do I love Crash Bandicoot? Come on,
I do, but I
can't muster up any love.
Games. I don't want to care about multiplayer games.
It's like a fun party Smash Brothers style game. Come on.
Yeah, all right. This is Crash Bandicoot Party. Like, I'm good. You can keep that. Like, I don't really care. Right? I don't really care about that. But I knew this make you happy. Dead Cells returns. Infamous Dead Cells from IGN, right? IGN, review. But it returns with Castlevania DLC arriving next year. I knew you would be happy about this. And I thought this was kind of cool. This was in the pre-show. This was announced in the pre-show.
Yeah, I'm amazed with, and I even asked the guys when we went to PAX in 2020 2 years ago, and I dressed up as the prisoner. Right, I redid my Halloween costume from the year before because I love that game. That's one of my top 10 games. And I wanted to go as the prisoner again, and it was like a big hit. And I came by the booth, and they were like, "Oh my God, like you look amazing" or whatever. And they were, we were chatting for a little bit, and I'm like, "So when is this? When is Dead Cells 2?" And he kind of like shook his head, and he's, "Yeah, well, I mean, Dead Cells 1 is still doing amazingly well." I'm like, "You're not wrong, you're not wrong." And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna like keep supporting it for a long while." And they have had, I think this may be maybe the 18th, 19th, or the 20th. Update, and the updates are pretty significant when they come out. This is the third paid DLC. I think it's just paid DLC. So they've had 17 other updates that are free that introduce so much new stuff, game rebalancing, new level biomes, new weapons and abilities, and new monsters and new pathways to go down. And they just keep putting out more and more content, and it's always great. It's always amazing, like what they end up doing with it. So, yeah, super happy. I ain't mad that there's not a part 2 out. And the Castlevania crossover is very good. There was Dracula, there was Alucard, and there was Simon. I think Simon or Richter. I think it was Simon in there. Yeah. Definitely getting this when it comes out day one. No doubt about it.
I knew you would.
Yeah. It's good stuff, man. I mean, look, Death Stranding, Dead Cells, Tekken, Street Fighter, Diablo, Star Wars. I mean, come on now.
So then we got a Forspoken demo. It's available now. I have played it. And I've actually completed it.
Oh.
I've completed the objectives, I should say.
Okay.
They give you like 4 or 5 main objectives.
Uh-huh.
It's like a little mini map. And they give you a tutorial when you first start, and then you go around completing objectives. They definitely needed the demo. I have mixed feelings on it, to be honest.
Okay.
I do. Okay. I was really hyped for Forspoken. I was really bummed out when it got delayed. It's coming out early next year. The demo has sort of, I'm not as excited as I was before. It's a little bit, it's all magical, right? Like different levels of magic that you have to upgrade and use, and it's like God of War. I know you're playing God of War right now. I beat it, but certain enemies as you go on will, the chains of chaos won't really affect them. You need the axe, and some people you need the axe, and the axe won't work on them because they. You need the chains of chaos, and then you have another weapon, which I won't spoil for you, that will be more effective on certain enemies. So it's sort of like that, but I think it's a little bit more complicated than it should be, because it's like I got to change the different magic spells and different magic that I use, and they made it a little bit more complicated. I think it could have been a little bit more simplified, but it is a demo and not the full game, so I don't know, right? But I'm not my level of excitement has sort of decreased by like 10%.
Oh, really?
I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still gonna buy it. I don't think it's a full price game. It's not a $70 game at all. But I'm still gonna buy it.
Is it it's got to be a $60 game, right?
No, I think it was always like a $50 game. I don't think it was a $70 game. Okay. I could be wrong about that, but I when I looked at I could have sworn when I looked at pre-orders it wasn't a full price game, but it was sort of like a budget game. But I'm not as excited as I was before.
Wow.
Based on the gameplay that I've played. Like I've completed all the objectives. But I was a little confused at going through the menu, trying to figure out, which magic spells to use on the different enemies. And it wasn't fun, or as fun as it should be or could be. And again, demo, not the full game, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And finally, this was a little I don't know how I feel about this. It was like, Like, the game with Danny Glover, the game with Chuck Norris, the game with Vanilla Ice, all-star cast.
The game with Ray Liotta. Come on.
Ray Liotta. Oh, I didn't even catch that. I didn't even know he was in the game. So
Wasn't he on the? Oh, no. Michael Masden. I'm sorry.
No, Michael Masden. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Who was also very old. He was looking a little haggard on stage.
It was called Crime Bosses, right? It looked like a GTA clone, to be honest. I have no idea really what this game is.
It is GTA Vice City. Come on, Dan. It's GTA Vice City. That is what the game is. And
it's definitely GTA and Saints Row, like mashup. Like that's what it looks like to me. Like that's what I thought it was.
It's certainly got the voice talent in there, hopefully the gameplay's good. Like, I'm not...
old. Chuck Norris is old. Chuck Norris actually faced Bruce Lee. He's old.
He sure is, old. But, we didn't actually see him on stage, so I don't know how he's looking right now.
He probably couldn't make it.
I mean, it's fine. There's definitely no hate there.
No, I know there's no hate, but I mean, he's old. He's definitely old.
So it's being produced by 505 Games. It's being developed by In-Game Studios, which I don't know them as a company. I'm sure they've done some stuff.
Chuck Norris, just as a side note, Chuck Norris is the same age as Al Pacino. He's 82 years old.
Sure. I'm not saying he's not up there in age, but I'm just trying to I'm trying to look at what In-Games has done before. This may be their first game.
They could win best new indie game or best debut indie game next year.
Sure. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll definitely be following this because I'm kind of curious on how this game turns out. I don't think they put a release date or anything on it, right?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't see any release date, but I mean, it's a game with Vanilla Ice in it, so come on, you got to be excited.
There you go. He's the GOAT. Not really, but. So
funny. All right, so that was the Game Awards in a nutshell for most of the stuff that was there. I mean, I did skip some stuff.
Right.
As I am excited for the new Hellboy game that they did announce. The art style, not a lot of people's cup of tea, right? A little bit more on the cartoony side.
It was like the comic, I think. I think that's the comic style. Yeah.
So I was sort of I'm looking forward to that, but I know a lot of people weren't.
Looked all right, yeah.
They had a lot of stuff, and he said he cut stuff. So but we didn't get a lot of stuff from Xbox, from Microsoft.
No, see, that's the thing I want to. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's the thing I wanted to bring up is that because they're in the FTC is coming out in full force to like try and block this acquisition, this Activision acquisition. And I get it, they're trying to make the case that they're way too big, or they would be way too big if Microsoft obtains Activision Blizzard.
Well, they're not doing a jury trial. They're doing sort of like an in-house trial, right? So when I first heard about it, I thought this was a big thing, and I know everybody's like, the FTC. When I sort of read the details about it recently, right before we started doing the show, so I don't have all the details like in front of me because I didn't get a chance to really research it. But it's not like a jury trial, like a normal trial.
Yeah,
it's sort of like an in-house thing. So
right, and
of course they're gonna you can work something out. So I'm not worried that this will sort of like derail it will delay but not derail the actual acquisition.
Yeah, and I knew they were going to scrutinize it. I mean, this you have to in this case because it's such a big merger or acquisition or whatever, right?
$68 billion. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. The Microsoft will now be the biggest game publisher in the whole entire land. I mean, this puts them at the number one spot, right? So you're going to have some people, right? Obviously, Sony's doing everything in their power to try and sling mud into the whole birthday cake that they got going on over there. And
I already told you my theory on that, though. I told you my theory on that because I said, and I don't know if I mentioned on. I did mention on the show. I think they're trying to fight it, not necessarily to block it, because I think like, come on, they're not dumb. They're business, and they have, like a lot of inside people and people talk, right? Like they know this is going to go through. They're going to try to delay it as much as they can, but I think they're fighting it so when it's time for them to make a big purchase, nobody can say anything. It's like, no, you let this go through, right?
I mean,
we tried to say no, but now we want to buy Ubisoft. So
I mean, that would be a bit of a well, but
Microsoft can't say anything.
But you said that Sony's not going for it. You don't think they're going for Ubisoft though, right?
No, but that doesn't mean they're not going for somebody else I didn't think of. I just use Ubisoft as sort of like an example.
Sony's still going to make acquisitions, but
yeah, I'm saying, look, Sony. I'm saying they're fighting it, not necessarily to try to block it, because I don't think they can block it or succeed. I think they're fighting it just so, hey, look, we put up the fight. They won. They got to purchase it. We're gonna make this purchase. You can't say anything, right? Because now we're making the purchase. So
I mean, I mean, sure. I mean,
and then you'll be a hypocrite.
Well, the thing that I was like that wasn't the bit I wanted to bring up necessarily, because some people were speculating because of the FTC involvement in the case and the ongoing stuff, and it's like there's a question mark around whether they will be able to do the acquisition, where the FTC will say, yeah, no, you're good. We determined that you can. Maybe there's some strings involved and whatnot, but some people were saying that that's why Microsoft didn't show up with any announcements, is they didn't want to put the cart before the horse, right? They don't want to make all these announcements for all these like Activision Blizzard games that they don't quite own the rights to yet. And they're like, well, maybe we're going to like pull back and wait to see what the FTC says. So I don't know.
Make any sense, because Diablo's an Activision game, and they were at the Game Awards. Diablo 4 was in June.
Well, right. But I mean, it wasn't, it didn't have any Microsoft branding on it or anything.
Crash Team Rumble is Activision.
Well,
game.
right. Yeah. But those games are still coming out. Those games are still whatever. Like I'm not saying Activision Blizzard games specifically, but I mean, obviously you can't have any Microsoft branding on there, right? But they didn't show up with any of their own games either. So maybe they're like, well, we don't know the status of these games because we don't know if this acquisition is going to go through or not, right? That could kind of factor in a way, right?
I don't think that matters, because they have their own games that have nothing to do with Activision.
Well, why didn't they have any announcements? They had no announcements. It was really, they had almost none. The only one was Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice?
Not even. No, that wasn't here. But that was 2 years ago. That was the
No. Didn't they do another Hellblade thing? I thought they showed Hellblade again this year.
No.
Well, then they had nothing.
The only thing they had was a commercial spot with Ninja talking about
that's right,
Games Pass on Samsung TVs.
That's right, yeah. Which was okay, like it's nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not a big announcement, and that's something we already knew about. That was already out. It was just try and drum up some support for it.
It was definitely just sort of like an ad spot, so it was no real announcement.
Yeah, and Microsoft definitely has stuff in the works. They definitely had stuff they could have showed.
I honestly think they're holding it close to the vest for their own show.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Point, because look, we get the first half of next year is getting crowded, right? Like, Resident Evil 4. I mean, they just announced PSVR 2. And all those games are coming out, right? They just announced Street Fighter 6. That's coming out in June. Diablo 4 is coming out in June. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League coming out in May.
Sure.
Bayonetta is coming out in March.
That's never stopped Microsoft before. The only big game that's coming out early next year.
Microsoft. I'm saying next year is such a big thing. And I know Microsoft said that they had, their two big games that got delayed from this year coming out in the first half of next year. I think they're going to have their own. I think they're going to have their own sort of event at some point.
Well, but
probably in February.
Those are
to hype up their games.
I mean, I guess, I don't know. It would have been nice to see a Starfield thing or something new. Like, hey, here's a new thing that is coming out from one of our studios.
I think Starfield thing. I think a Starfield thing would have been great, or maybe Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, they had nothing. They had nothing. It looked a little weak. I'm not I'm not of the camp that like, oh, this FTC thing has spooked them, and then they pulled a bunch of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I just the internet was saying that necessarily.
Sometimes you got to take a break, and I could probably see Phil Spencer saying, "Listen, we gave you the look and price of the new Xbox Series X at the Game Awards."
That was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, actually. I think at this point.
We gave you Senua Sacrifice and a bunch of other games, before. Like, we took a break this year. It's fine.
No. They either didn't have anything ready or there's something else going on. I don't know. You don't just take a break to take a break. I mean,
so look, their multiplayer game, that multiplayer vampire game that was supposed to, I can't think of the name.
Redfall. I think it was Redfall. Is that, yeah.
Redfall was supposed to come out this year. It's been delayed to next year. And again, there's, we call it, their Elder Ring, not Elder Ring, the Elder Scrolls in Space.
Yeah.
Starfield. We know that's, again, they've claimed that it's coming out, within the first half. Both those games first half of next year. But other than that, I don't think a lot of games are ready to show just yet. Like Perfect Dark's not ready to show.
Well, obviously, and that's not a great sign. That's not a great sign.
I think they'll be ready by E3, though. I do think some of them will be ready by E3.
I would hope so.
Right? Just not in time, because look, I'll be honest, if it's at the Game Awards, right, in December, I'm expecting a release at some point in 2023, for the most part, right? For the most part, with some exceptions. And I just don't. I think they, like Phil Spencer, to me, is like a gamer, right? He's like, I don't want any more trailers. Just tell me when it's coming out, right? So I think that's when we're going to get, because we release dates for Redfall or Starfield. And I know they probably have a date in mind, but the closer we get, that's when we're going to hear more about those games, right? Because if they show it to us and they said it's coming out in the first half and then it's delayed again, then everyone's going to be pissed.
I mean, that could happen for sure, and you definitely don't want to be in a Metroid Prime 4 situation. Like that's definitely the last thing that you want to have happen.
Sony was all over the Game Awards, right?
Sony definitely dominated, yeah. And
Nintendo was
third party.
Nintendo had a presence. It wasn't dominating by any means. With 3 different awards and I think like 2 different announcements. So they definitely had a presence here. I like the show overall. Like, what do you think about the show? Like in its entirely, minus not having anything from Xbox, but like, what do you think about the show? I thought the show was pretty good. I really liked the show.
Yes, I did. I liked the show a lot. There could have been more variety in the winners, but I was not mad at the announcements. There was a lot of really good announcements. I thought that was really cool. I thought Sydney Goodman, she knocked it out of the park like she does with the pre-show. I thought Keeley was great doing his thing. All the musical performances were great.
I will say, I know you said, I just, it drives me a little nuts because I know you're talking about variety in the winners, but it's 2022 is just like 2018. It was between God of War. It was between God of War and Red Dead, and this year was between God of War and Elden Ring, right? And I think Horizon played the role that Spider-Man played, because I think Spider-Man didn't win anything.
I think it should have. Spider-Man was a great game.
And Spider-Man was a phenomenal game. We had a lot of great games in 2018. I'm not saying 2018 is the best year in gaming, but it would be up there. It's up there. It's not number 1 or top 3, but it's definitely maybe top 10. We had a lot of great games in 2018. So, when did Celeste get nominated? Was that a 2018 game too?
I think Celeste was 2018 too.
and that game got overlooked, right? So I think Horizon played the Spider-Man role. So, sometimes when you have 2 juggernauts, it overshadows everything else. So I think for the most part, Game Awards does have variety in the awards. It's when you have 2 juggernauts, it's kind of hard to though.
That's not even my biggest gripe, because like big games are going to win big always, But my biggest gripe were the damn presenters. Oh my God, every single one of them was super cringe. I'm sorry.
That is not true.
It is very much true.
With that. I vehemently disagree with that.
When they had the stars of
The Last of Us, I thought it was great. I thought that was great.
Oh my god, dude,
it was not cringy.
You're amazing. Oh, you're amazing. Oh, and they said some terrible jokes. Like, come on, they're all better than that, right? Come on, they had the Viper on stage from Game of Thrones. They had the guy from Narcos on the stage. He's a concert. They had Troy Baker, the voice actor, goat. They can do better. I mean, it was just terribly written jokes and dialogue.
Crash Bandicoot on stage too. I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean,
the Crash thing was kind of funny. I'm actually not mad at the Crash thing because I got the original costume and he was dancing around. I'm like, all right, I like that. It's funny.
I thought everybody. I thought Al Pacino was the biggest cringe. Everybody else was fine.
And he kicked it off. Al Pacino kicked it off. And when they had all the actors from Crime Boss come on, I was just like, I'm like, okay,
cool. I thought that was cool. I didn't think that was an issue.
No, it's not. They were just. It was painful. It was painful to watch.
I didn't think that.
Whoever was writing the dialogue for the game, who was feeding them the dialogue, like the scriptwriters or whatever. Whoever was in the room, the comedy room, you got to go next year. I'm sorry, it's just it's terrible.
I didn't think it was cringe at all. I loved it.
It was terrible. I mean, come on. I'm going to go ahead and be critical of that.
My only issue, again, I stand by it, is maybe not the esports guys, but some of the lesser categories should have gotten a little bit more time to shine. To be honest,
and then you're gonna have a 4-hour show at that point. It's going to be long.
Well,
and he tried to cut it down this year,
He actually did a good job of cutting it down. I didn't think it was, I mean, listen, I thought it was long because I was up to 2 a.m, but if I was watching it live, I probably would have thought it was like, pretty good pace, other than the beginning with Christopher Judge taking too long. Mm-hmm. But I think the best part of the show was the same thing for the last 4 years, and that is when they announced the Game of the Year nominees with the orchestra.
Yep.
That is still the best part of the show. Like when he did it that second or third year that he did the Game Awards, we sort of transitioned away from VGAs, right? Mm-hmm. And he had the orchestra. It was like and I'm gonna curse. This is like fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, that's it. That's all we got. Game Awards 2022. Yep. We both thought
in the books.
It was a success. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
With some awkward moments.
Pretty good.
We may disagree on the awkward moments, but some awkward moments. But pretty damn good.
Jeff. You did pretty good. So, all right. Well, that's it. That's episode 339 in the books. Next week, look forward to our regular scheduled program. We will get back to our standard style. We do the news and the games we've been playing and all that. And I certainly got a lot to talk about next week. I'm very excited about that. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.